Hey everybody, welcome back to Low Friction Friday. Right, I am hopefully sort of semi-back. It has been, the fun times continue. Not the smoothest week, so I've got a little guy homesick yesterday and today, and I've been running behind on pretty much everything this week, catching up on many fronts back from NZ. And yeah, today we've had so far 2 blackouts, which has just not been amazing for the workflow. I do have a UPS for my fancy new computer. It's a fancy new UPS that hasn't been working. And we've had to work with some tech support to get it seemingly going now. But the fun part is it seems to be now working, but if the power goes off anyway, it makes a very loud beeping sound when the power is down, which does not help with the recording. I've also had to uninstall and reinstall the Filmora Wondershare video recording program because that just kept crashing for reasons unknown. Seems to be going fine now. It's been uninstalled and reinstalled. Suffice to say, I'm running very late on my day, and let's go. Alrighty, Ceramic Speed's Ultra Endurance Wax will be in stock with Zero Friction Cycling as well soon. I've been a little bit behind most other Aussie retailers in stocking this one, which although we don't have on the main test data table because they went through some custom and individual block testing, we certainly know enough that it is going to be an awesome wax. We'll try to put it through the main test when we can, but that is, as you know, test resources is a fun balance. Every test is quite a lot of resources to get through. This is the current expected retail prices here in Australia. So we'll be matching those. We'll be stocking the Ultra Endurance Wax Kit, which includes this, I still believe to be horrific way to go hanger, the 750 gram bag and the 400 gram bag. And the fun part for us is that, yeah, as you know, for the waxes that we stock, which are M-Speed Wax, Silka Hot Melt and Rex, we do offer all of the chains that we stock, which is a lot, in those wax options to be pre-prepped. So just from a drop-down box, you can select that pre-prep wax option. We will be doing the same here, so we've got to add that variation in across all chains. But just so you know, that it does add a lot of fun for us here. We may be needing to update the way we do our orders. At the moment, we go very hard on trying to keep all variations ready to go so that we can, if we get an order in for, say, an SRAM XX1 Rainbow in Silka Hot Melt, we can zoom that out. Or if we get a SRAM Red Rainbow in Rex Black Diamond, we've got that ready to go. Or a YBN Copper in M-Speed Wax. We've got them all pre-prepped done. That is very difficult, and with every extra wax option that we add, if we are selling, I think we sell around 70 different chains. That's another 70 variations that we have to try to have in stock. We may need to move to each chain is prepped to order, but we'll see how we go. We'll try to have a crack, but yeah, just for fun knowledge for all, staying on top of multiple pre-prep options across all of the chain options that we stock is a fun time indeed, and we do our best, but this may push things over the edge. All right, just back on the Spiral of Death for a moment, and as to why I will not be stocking it separately, and I do not recommend that you use it. Let's have a look. So they show how you will install it. So you hook it in there, and then you wind it around. And if you've seen any of my videos covering this, I guess, concerns on this hanger style before, you may be able to sort of immediately see the concern. Let's try to skip ahead a little bit to where he shows post wax. All right, I'll see if we get a close up on that. All right, so, okay. As opposed to just hanging what we would say normally, which is sort of hung up vertically to drip back down into your pot, they're just using that table there for demonstration purposes, no doubt. Ordinarily, the recommendation, I'm sure, would be to try to hang this over your wax so that any excess that does drip off will drip off back into your wax so you don't lose it. But we can see here that all the plates are touching each other. So you're just going to have your chain stuck together with wax, which for one removes more wax each time, and for two it just really is going to make that initial sort of post-wax reinstall on your bike a big hassle, because you're going to have to unstick the chain from itself, and you're going to have all this excess wax on the side of the plates that's going to be more of a mess, be potentially gunk up more on the side of your cogs, and it's just a bad way to go. So when I do the wax weights for the high temperature versus the lower temperature, it'll be very interesting on those same chains to do exactly the same with the same wax using Ceramic Speed's Spiral of Death hanger here and cover that one off. But even without testing it, it's just the logic and what's happening is right there for us all to see. That is just going to not be great. So yeah, I just wish they'd gone with any of the other paths that the other manufacturers have gone down with, nice, neat solutions to thread your chain onto some form of swisher and a method to just hang it directly over the wax pot. That is bad. All right, also nearly here will be Rex's Black Magic Drip Wax. So again, been a little bit of time to get this one, but it's almost here now. We'll probably have it up on the website next week. And we'll also have more of the Rex Black Diamond Immersive Wax in stock then as well. It's going to be another awesome wax product in the lineup. So we've tested this a lot as well. And the main issue we have with Rex is simply the price. It's not the cheapest products, and it certainly isn't cheap to get it here from Finland. So we have to sort of take that into account with the Aussie retail pricing to try to even get minimum sort of viable margin of around 30%. It's just, that's the only tough part. What I need to get cracking on with both the Ceramic Speed Ultra Endurance Wax and also this Black Magic Drip Wax coming online is... Right, so yes, my apologies. I am way overdue getting the sort of version 1 of a Lubricant Choice Matrix up and going. So I'm going to be really prioritizing that. Hopefully I can get that done next week if I have a smoother run of things. If not, I'm going to really try to get that done within the next 2 weeks. Just many things have sort of come up to distract me, but it really needs to be done now. So more and more we're getting inquiries about, so you can see all these awesome products that you sort of stock and recommend, but which one is really the best one for me? This is my sort of cycling or what I'm looking for, and that's very valid inquiries. Whilst you're not married to a choice, obviously, if you're looking for something a little bit different than what your initial choice is, you can always just switch next time it's time to purchase a new lubricant. However, for sure we want to try to get that match as perfect as possible on the first go if we can, and a good Lubricant Choice Matrix will help with that. So look out for version 1, which I won't let the sort of the perfect stand in the way of the good. We just need to get at least something decent out to begin with, and then I can iterate and improve on that over time. But apologies for the delay on this one. I have been getting easily distracted with many other fun things. All right, this is just a pre-flag on the business update side. You may recall last year I did a video covering the full sort of ZSC financials of the previous financial year. I'm going to look to try to do that again soon. So I've been behind on getting to that vid, but it's going to be a fun time to do it because really, especially this financial year, so there's a little bit of link on this financial year versus the previous one. Just seeing that there's a trend now where, say, after the first pretty much sort of 8 years of continual growth, last financial year and now definitely heading into this financial year, seen a fairly noticeable decline. This, I guess, calendar year especially has been very noticeable. So there's a few main reasons. I'll save, I guess, the full detail for the actual full business video update or business update vid. But a few things going on. First is that we've been successful in playing our part and trying to grow knowledge around immersive waxing, wax strip lubricants versus wet drip lubricants, friction and wear, and just all of what we do and try to educate around has obviously we've played a part in helping get immersive waxing and wax strips in the marketplace to where they are today versus where they were, say, 10 years ago. And that's been fantastic. And for a time, what that meant was that we're a specialist business providing a niche, special sort of product and service. And if you were looking for especially pre-prep wax chains, we're one of a few that can professionally, offer that along with the wax, and you can just skip straight to the fun part. As more and more players step into the field, which is, at the end of the day, that's the awesome mission success we always aim for. From an actual retail perspective, though, there comes a time where it's just easier for people if they're looking at this brand, especially if it's a brand we don't stock because we can't stock them all. That brand is now offering the wax, especially if it's more locally available to them, and they can get a chain pre-prepped with that, which is a much more prevalent offering now versus when we started, where the number of places doing that was quite small. Obviously, that starts to cut into what our core sort of retail side is. There's a bunch of other factors as well, but that's just one of the main ones I think that's come up. The initial plan for Zero Friction Cycling when I started it, and remember, this is a hobby side fun business for me, so I try to sort of work somewhere between 4 to 5 hours a day max on ZFC, as I had expected it to have potentially somewhere around, that 8 to 10 year run. And I was going to do a review when I turned 50, which was last year, about whether I continue or whether things have sort of done enough. We've run our course and it's time to sort of go, cool, that was awesome, had a great time. We hopefully helped achieve something good in the cycling space. And now I'll go and play with something else. But still having fun, and there's still a lot of work to do. And so I'm trying to keep things going for a bit yet and just keep assessing, year after year. So with that in mind, we're kind of where I initially expected it would be if things went the way I wanted them to go. And if we did have to wind up now, that would have kind of been with, the original plan, pretty much dead on track with the timeline. But if we can, so there's a few things that we'll look to try to do to see if we can keep things running along. Because remember, the retail side massively subsidizes the testing side. Without the retail side, I would have to crowdfund or look at some other way of raising funds to actually conduct the testing, and it would be all obviously just trying to cover costs, and you don't get anything for all the time invested at all. So without the retail side, it's going to be very difficult to keep the testing side going. Some things that we're going to try to look at doing to see if we can help in the multi-challenge, and I'll go into more of the challenges in the other update, or the more detailed update, of sort of operating in this space, retail at the moment, is we're overdue doing a loyalty program. So I've got a lot of customers that have been with me for such a long time, really some of them since the beginning, and because we kind of struggle already with some of the margins on retail versus wholesale, it's been difficult to try to put in place much sort of sales or discounts, but we're overdue having a loyalty program in place for those that have been sort of spending with us. So we'll have some details out around that soon, and basically you'll be getting, sort of a permanent discount assigned to your account based on when you reach certain spending markers. So like we see with some other programs out there, Through Dark's clothing companies are a nice easy one. They have certain tiers based on certain levels of spend, and I think that works really well. So we'll look to probably emulate something like that. Other things that you may have noticed, like one quick one that's an obvious sort of thing on the marketing front. In the earlier days, I used to appear on a lot of podcasts talking about chain lubrication and chain waxing, because a lot of this knowledge was still news to people. It's much less so now. It is very widely, accepted and known, unless you're in one of the strange conspiracy camps, that immersive waxing is simply, for very obvious and logical reasons, better than what a wet lubricant and oil can give you. The education around that, and a lot of places have done so many sort of articles and podcasts and vids on immersive chain waxing, that to a degree that education side of things is just not needed like it was. And so the number of appearances and so on various media certainly tapered off over the last year or two. And marketing spend to try to increase the retail side is very difficult for a business of this size, because you can spend a lot easily, and when you're only making around if you have a gross margin of about 30%, you'll make around, after all costs, about 10% net margin. So if you spend $1,000 net off your bottom line, it takes about $10,000 in sales of chains and waxes, and it's not like we're selling Pinarellos. It's a lot of sales and work to recoup even small spend. So some of the challenges on the marketing front we need to try to tackle as well, and a lot of that is going to come through, I think, the YouTube thing. I've got to get A, better at it, and B, I'm going to need you guys to try to help, just again with like, subscribe, share, positive engagement, all that sort of stuff. See if that side can help carry over to the retail side a bit more, and that will be amazing. But yeah, I need to get better at it too. So there's that. All right. Sorry, that was just a bit of a ramble. Hope it wasn't too all over the place. But that is quick, fun one to finish off the low friction news updates for this week. With luck, if the day continues if it's less disastrous than it has been so far, and things keep working, I'll hopefully have a first look and performance review of one of the new inflators. It's one in the more budget lineup. So most of the units we've tested so far have been the premium units. Big part of it also is obviously finding what more budget options are out there that hopefully also perform really well. So with luck, we'll get one out this afternoon on that. All right, that better do for this one. Look forward to your thoughts, comments, and input as always. And fingers crossed, if the day continues to be smoother than it was before, then I will get to the next mini electric pump vid this afternoon as well. Hopefully I'll be back.